First with breaking news. First with new information. Plus, your First Alert forecast. 19 News starts now.
We begin with your First Alert on a much needed warm-up.
Yeah, for the first time in nearly 20 days, we will be above freezing on Tuesday, although it feels like 100 days, doesn't it? Thanks for joining us first at 4. I'm Nicole Oversansky.
And I'm Brian Duffy. We'll be near 40, maybe above.
Woo.
A little windy out there as well.
19 First Alert meteorologist John Loftman joining us with this, I don't know, little heat wave.
Yes, call it a heat wave. The 14th of January was the last time we were in the 40s. I mean, that's a stretch. Jason, check that out. We have a pretty nice day going on. There are clouds out there. Old Glory over there on the right side of the screen is, well, I guess your left is unfurled in the southerly breezes that are helping us out in the temperature department. The weekend saw temperatures in the upper teens each day. We climbed all the way into the 20s today, but we soar into the 40s Tuesday. Cold front arrives on Wednesday, a little bit of reality returning with a few stray snow showers Wednesday, but tomorrow is going to be downright balmy. People will be out taking down holiday decorations, maybe clearing that path at the top of your driveway. 24 downtown right now. It is 30 degrees at Hopkins and climbing. Breezes are coming out of the south and northeast. They're light all across the region. The rest of the temperatures here, again, mid upper 20s to around 30. Couple in the winds. The wind chills are warmer than we were yesterday in the high temperature department. In fact, all weekend long. First Alert Future View, hour by hour, coming up.
Well, water main breaks are causing problems all over Northeast Ohio, including major disruptions at a major local hospital.
Yeah, so the ER actually had to divert emergency calls over the weekend, and it's still causing some trouble today.
Yes, it is. First at 4, Brittany Weir is live at Akron General with an update on their cleanup there. Brittany.
Yes, Cleveland Clinic Akron General is back open to ambulances, but they're remaining closed to visitors and trauma patients. Signs like these can be seen posted all around the campus, alerting people to the conditions here. Unfortunately, there is no indication as to when things will return to normal. A water main break early Saturday morning turned parts of Cleveland Clinic Akron General into a flooded mess. This video shows water rushing down the hospital's stairwell, forcing the emergency department to divert ambulances for hours. The 12-inch water main broke right across the street from the ER. Akron water crews worked through the weekend, fixing the break and helping pump water out of the hospital. All day Saturday, outpatient cardiac, radiation oncology, and radiology appointments were canceled at its downtown campus. 19 News spoke to Oscar Quinteros, and he said after his wife pushed through days of labor, her hospital room had no water on Saturday.
We fought for 4 days trying to get this baby out, and finally the baby's here, and she just wants to relax, and she can't even get a drink of water.
The city says extreme cold likely caused the ground to heave, putting pressure on the pipe until it burst. The mayor's office released a statement that says the break was repaired Saturday afternoon and the water was back in service that day. There was no boil alert at any point during the break or repair. And I reached out to the mayor's office this afternoon to ask if they had any concerns about the hospital here not being able to take those trauma patients. They told me they had no further comment at this time. I also reached out to Cleveland Clinic, who runs Akron General here, asking if they did have any indication as to when things will go back to normal, any sort of timeline. And they said as of right now, they do not. So it's still remaining closed for those patients. We'll continue to reach out and bring you those updates coming up at 5. For now, live in Akron, Brittany Weir, 19 News.
This is a 19 First Alert breaking traffic alert.
You're taking a live look where 90 passes West 117th Street because of some very slow speeds that are going on for drivers trying to head west. So not only is this a construction zone that you're used to being a little heavier on the brakes around, but there was a crash that was just cleared here just about a minute ago. So that was keeping drivers on the road going just around 10 to 15 miles per hour, all the way from where we have 90 passing West 117th Street to Warren Road. So here's a look at some of those slowdowns that are still remaining as drivers are trying to make that curve. Again, this is on 90 westbound. So if you're about to be heading that way, you may still be seeing some slow speeds that are still impacting part of a 3-mile stretch here where speeds are still as slow as 9 miles per hour. But thankfully, this is no longer the at best speed because traffic has picked up in that area. But we'll continue to keep our eyes on the roads and let you know what clears, like this crash that has now left McCracken Road over at Lee Road in my first alert traffic updates.
Portage County Sheriff's deputy likely going to prison after detaining a man he believed was in the country illegally.
Yeah, so today he pled guilty to a charge of attempted abduction from that man. Catherine Huntley explains what happened. She joins us live now from Medina.
Yeah, Daniel Lajak, one of the 2 off-duty officers involved in this bizarre debacle, could be heading to prison after pleading guilty to the 4th-degree felony of attempted abduction. He will also lose his certificate to be a law enforcement officer. The other officer involved in this, his trial was delayed today. He's a detective for the Cleveland Police Department. Former DEA agent and Portage County Sheriff's Deputy Daniel Lajak faced a judge today. He pled guilty to an attempted abduction felony.
What do you think it says you did wrong?
I restrained the liberties of the victim.
It stems from an April 2024 incident at the Buzzards Roost Bar in Hinckley. Body camera video shows 2 off-duty officers outside the bar, Lajak and Donald Kopchak. Kopchak is a Cleveland police detective. On the ground, a 38-year-old man. They believed he was in this country illegally and detained him.
This guy's not from this country. So we started fighting with him. He's like, whatever. So here we are. He's holding him down.
Well, regardless if he's from this country or not, what happened?
He's not from this country.
Prosecutors say the officers confronted the 38-year-old victim from Texas. One restrained and assaulted him while removing him from the bar. Brunswick police say the victim is an Ethiopian refugee. He's lived in the U.S. for 14 years and has a valid Texas driver's license. All other charges for Lajak were dropped today. Hinckley police also believe the 2 co-defendants were drunk when this happened as well.
I know, we're supposed to be a brotherhood, but this is messed up. They're obviously intoxicated.
Now, we just found out that Lajak was placed on unpaid administrative leave at the Portage County Sheriff's Department in September, but he has since retired and no longer works there. Now, as part of his guilty plea today, he might be called to testify against his co-defendant, Donald Kopchak. He's that detective with the Cleveland Police Department. Now, the Cleveland Police Department tells me that he remains on unpaid administrative leave until they figure out exactly what the conclusion of his case will be. His trial date has not been set yet. For now, in Medina, Catherine Huntley, 19 News.
The search for Nancy Guthrie has now entered its 9th day in Arizona. So far, no suspects have been named. Guthrie's possible abductor or abductors are demanding $6 million by tonight's deadline of 5 p.m. That's Mountain Time, so 7 o'clock our time. CNN affiliate KGUN cited a ransom note the station says it received. The news station also reports that the note includes a threat to Nancy Guthrie's life if that deadline isn't met. In a video released Saturday, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings issued a clear message.
We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
All right, a sheriff's deputy is stationed around the clock outside Nancy Guthrie's Tucson home for security at the request of her children. Now, we have just learned that Savannah Guthrie posted a new video, again, talking about that ransom. We're going to try and get that video for you as soon as we do. You'll see it here on 19 News, first at 4.
The House Oversight Committee scheduled a virtual deposition with Jeffrey Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell. They are investigating who else was involved in the widespread sex trafficking ring exploiting underage girls. Erica Brown reports from Capitol Hill.
Convicted sex trafficker and longtime Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell appeared before House lawmakers for a virtual deposition Monday, but she refused to answer questions invoking her Fifth Amendment right.
She had an opportunity today to answer questions that every American has, questions that would be very important in this investigation, and she chose to invoke her Fifth Amendment right.
The House Oversight Committee subpoenaed Maxwell for testimony last July. Today, they say they tried to get her to respond to a variety of questions relevant to their Epstein investigation.
Who were the other co-conspirators? Who were the other men who raped these underage girls? Did she have any conversations about a deal with Donald Trump?
Maxwell is serving a 20-year prison sentence for sex trafficking. And in a statement, her attorney said she is prepared to speak freely if she gets clemency from President Trump.
She is campaigning over and over again to get that pardon from President Trump. And this president has not ruled it out. And so that is why she's continuing to not cooperate with our investigation.
Maxwell's virtual appearance came on the same day members of Congress were granted access to the Justice Department's unredacted Epstein files.
I was interested in certain redactions that seemed puzzling to me, and I wanted to go and see were there actually names of victims in there that caused the redactions, and in the overwhelming number of cases, there were not names of victims there.
Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says 5 more depositions related to the Epstein probe are scheduled, including with former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
All right, 2 former First Energy executives on trial facing accusations of corruption.
So their attorneys right now are doing everything they can to pin all of the corruption on Sam Randazzo. Dan DeRose has been following the trial. He's here today to explain.
Of course, Sam Randazzo can't speak up for himself and defend himself because he committed suicide shortly after being brought up on charges for all this corruption. So you probably associate this First Energy scandal, and we're looking at the CEO here, the former CEO and the former senior vice president. These are the 2 that are on trial. This is Sam Randazzo. You probably connect all of this to HB 6, House Bill 6. That was that bought and paid for bailout of First Energy. But we have to go back even before that because they're trying to debate at the center of all of this Sam Randazzo. Even before he gets appointed to PUCO. Got a $4.3 million, and that's really at the center of this, a $4.3 million payment from First Energy to become the head of PUCO and then pull some strings for First Energy. But even before that, he was the attorney for an agency called IEU, the Industry Energy Users of Ohio. We're talking big factories, big corporations that use a lot of energy. They brokered a settlement with First Energy because they use so much electricity. The problem was Sam Randazzo was already working for First Energy as a consultant. We showed you that line of questioning, but we heard that at the same time that he brokered these payments, the money went through him. So he was keeping some of that settlement money that was supposed to be going back to those big companies. How much? $4.3 million.
And, sir, distributing some settlement money in 2019 while stealing parts of that settlement money is consistent with your understanding of how Mr. Randazzo has been stealing from you for years, correct?
There was a pattern of behavior of skimming from settlements.
This is a very complicated and lengthy trial when we get witnesses like that gentleman who was represented by the IEU. He's been on the stand for 2 days. I believe he's done with his questioning today. We'll get another witness tomorrow, and it will go on and on and on like this for weeks because these 2 former executives are facing bribery, money laundering, years and years. Keep in mind, everything that they are accused of, you've already got people like Larry Householder, the former Speaker of the House. He's already serving 20 years for his role in all of this.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast, certified most accurate since 2004.
Most of Lake Erie might as well be a cornfield in Nebraska. It is so ice covered that will turn off the lake effect snow machine. That is a good thing, and in the minds of many, the fact that temperatures are climbing rapidly is another good thing. The skiers are out today and they don't have to worry about heading into the fireplace too often. Our temperatures in the 30-degree range around here will give way to some of the warmer stuff out west. Yeah, take a look at Minneapolis. They are looking at rain. It's 38 degrees out there. And yes, that is a 75 at Kansas City. So we'll share in this if ever so briefly. The snow is off to our north, to our northwest. We have a little bit of rain coming in, but it is not going to be arriving here. Tonight, we are under fair skies, 26 degrees. Been a long time since we've seen that. And then temperatures rise through the course of the night into the upper 20s, so that it'll be a post-midnight high temperature for Wednesday. But 6 o'clock, people heading home from work, no problem at all. Mid and upper 20s. The kids going off to school tomorrow morning are going to find temperatures right around 30 degrees. That's about where we are right now. It feels pretty good outside. No breeze either to worry about wind chill wise. We're in the mid 40s tomorrow. Yes, places south of us, 50 degrees or perhaps a little warmer. Take a look at Dover, New Philly. Expectation there about 52. 1 o'clock in the morning is when we'll see the high temperature on the day Wednesday. Yep, that's a little streak of snow coming in, a little bit of flurry activity for the most part. By 7 o'clock in the morning, we've got another 30. Remember, we were at 33 at post-midnight, and then we'll slide down. We'll continue to fall as we make our way through the day on Wednesday. So that bus stop temperature will pretty much match where we are in the afternoon, as Wednesday gives way to a much chillier forecast as we make our way to the midweek. But enjoy the fact that we're heading to above freezing for the first time in weeks, and 45, again, some of the models are going even a little bit warmer than that, down to 28 tonight. Rising through the night. Few flakes around on Wednesday. We're at 30, back down to 22. Few flakes around on Thursday as well. Now we're into temperatures that are below average. Our average high again is 37 degrees this time, well, for today, and then climbing to 38 by the weekend. 30 with some sun on Friday. Saturday, of course, is the day that every candy maker and florist loves, Valentine's Day. 38 degrees and warm hearts, so it's going to be a chilly day. Wintry mix on Sunday, and then still pretty mild on Monday. We top in the upper 30s.
Now your top 4 at 4. The Coast Guard is scaling back ice-breaking operations. This is Fairport Harbor, trying to keep everybody safe there and to make sure equipment isn't damaged. They've had to do this. Water levels there are so low in the Grand River, everything's frozen. The ice breaking will only go to the Morton Salt Dock. Wind and weather concerns there as well. The Coast Guard trying to break up this ice to prevent the flooding and to keep those channels open.
Cleveland Clinic Akron General is still working through issues after a water main break there over the weekend. Brittany Weir reporting on this earlier in the newscast. So what you need to know is that the hospital emergency department is open, but not to trauma patients. EMTs decide, according to the clinic, where to take trauma patients, and in almost every case, that is Summa Health Akron campus, which is a level 1 trauma center. So the hospital is also closed to general visitation with some exceptions. All hospitalized patients, though, continue to receive care.
Okay, police are investigating after a 61-year-old man was found dead in a driveway in North Olmsted. Police say this was not a murder, that it appears to be a tragic accident where alcohol was a factor. Both men, according to police, returned to Jeffrey Ropp's home Friday night. Donald Mathie slipped and fell on the driveway, lost consciousness. Ropp also fell. Both are believed to have been outside for nearly 11 hours in that bitter cold. Ropp died.
A convicted sex offender who kidnapped a woman at knife point was sentenced today to 9 years and 9 months in prison. Jamie Triplett kidnapped a woman from a motel in Jackson Township, took her to another motel in Perry Township. This was last September. The woman was found safe the next morning. The kidnapping was just months after Triplett was released from prison.